She's a trailblazer in bluegrass music. Becky Buller is the first woman to win Fiddle Player of the Year from the International Bluegrass Music Association and the first artist to win in both instrumental and vocal categories. She'll take the stage tonight in Lexington at Woodsongs Old Time Radio Hour.
My parents fell in love with bluegrass music when I was 5 years old. They heard it at the Butterfield Threshing Bee in Butterfield, Minnesota. And my dad had been trying to learn the mandolin at the time, but didn't really know how it was supposed to be played until that day he heard a fella named Dick Kimmel playing the mandolin with a bluegrass band. And that just set my family on this path. I mean, my family was obviously already very musical. My parents met in college when they were both playing guitars. And anyway, the funny story there, but we won't get into that right now. But anyway, music has always dominated my destiny. My brother is very musical too, although he didn't follow a professional music path. He's actually a Lutheran pastor in North Dakota. And I've been in Tennessee now, oh my word, a long time, longer than I was in Minnesota. I left home the day I graduated and moved that fall. I'm of 97. I moved to Johnson City, Tennessee to attend East Tennessee State University because they have the oldest bluegrass, old time and country music program anywhere in the world. And I wanted to study that. I actually got a public relations degree and a music minor. And when I graduated from school, I moved to Middle Tennessee to play with Valerie Smith and Liberty Pike, which I did for 10 years. And then I took a break, had a baby, performed with Darren and Brooke Aldridge and their wonderful band for a couple of years, and then started my own band in 2015.
You made history as the first female to win Fiddle Player of the Year. What did that mean to you, to have that milestone?
Oh my gosh. Well, you never know what you're going to do when something like that happens to you, because in my world, that's like one of the biggest things that could ever happen to you is to win an IBMA award. And especially that particular one, and to be the first female to win it, it completely blew my mind and actually kind of messed me up. I kind of got PTSD from it, which sounds ridiculous. But I thought, oh my gosh, now I've got to live up to this. And I said it that night, I'm just floored that it was me. I'm going to cry. I'm about to cry because, there are wonderful women fiddle players out there like Deanie Richardson, who won it in 2020. She's amazing with Sister Sadie. And she's been on the scene for years and years. But Alison Krauss, Lori Lewis, I could name more, but that's, the ones that come to mind right now. I'm just surprised that they didn't win that award first. And I also won female vocalist that year. And I'm the first person to ever do that in the history of the IBMA awards. Nobody else has ever done that to this, since either. It's crazy. And so my husband, I called him, he couldn't be there with me in Raleigh that night. And I called him, I was like, guess what just happened? And he and I was up against my heroes in that category. I can't remember. I should remember everybody that was in there that night. I think it was Jason Carter and definitely Stuart Duncan and probably Michael Cleveland, and I'm maybe Hunter Berry. I'm blanking on who everybody was that night because it just, again, it blew my mind. But my husband, he got real quiet, and then he said, well, I bet Stuart Duncan never got fiddler and female vocalist of the year, because I'm always comparing myself, like I want to be like Stuart Duncan because he's my favorite. So anyway, but it did kind of mess me up, honestly, because I thought I've got to live up to this now. This is crazy, and it kind of sent me into a tailspin that I feel like I'm coming out of now. But I'm very grateful, and I hope I'm doing y'all proud. I love what I do, and now I'm gonna cry.
So give us a little sneak peek of tonight's show at Woodsongs Old Time Radio Hour. What song are you going to be playing for us?
This song was our first single from the new record, and it actually was released in 2020, and it won the 2020 IBMA Collaborative Recording of the Year. It's called The Barber's Fiddle. And we had 18 fiddlers on this cut. We kind of went nuts. And it broke my heart that we couldn't have everybody on there because there's so many incredible fiddlers from in bluegrass music from all over the world. But we managed to get 18 of them on there, including Katie Penn from right there in Lexington. But this is a song I wrote with my friend Linda Dawson from Raleigh, North Carolina. There's a lot of truth in it. We based it on the lives of two fiddling barbers that one that I knew and one that I've heard stories about because he was very important to my Tennessee family. The one that I knew was Gene Boyd in Bristol, Virginia. And the one that was very important to my Tennessee family was Mr. Billy Womack from Woodbury, Tennessee. And this is called The Barber's Fiddle. Mr. Gene's Barbershop, State Street, the Virginia side. I walked in hand with Pa, 5 years old and terrified. Mr. Gene smiled at me, helped me up into a chair. In the mirror I could see an old red fiddle hanging there. The gray-haired barber caught my gaze, said that's a tale I like to tell. One day with a fiddle and a dream to sell. He tried to live out on the road, thought music was where he belonged. But it broke his heart and it broke his soul, made him sing a different song. Fiddle up high, fiddle down low, fiddle no step where I go. Dying day, if I can make a life on a fiddler's pay. He sat in this very chair, scared of what his folks would say. His hope was gone, his pockets bare.